All right. Welcome everybody to Deep Diving Video Builder Beta. Thank you so much for coming. Behind the scenes, obviously, we've got a superstar in the house. I'm going to introduce her first. Michelle, make some noise.
Hello! You can't see me, but I'm here.
Yeah, she's here. She's here. So Michelle's at the back and she's managing the stream. Without her, this wouldn't be possible. Thank you again for taking the time to be with us. I'm, of course, Ben, and that is not my picture. That is my son, just in case you got a bit confused. And that was like his wake up from bed look just a few days ago. And he was just smiling and saying, I don't have to go to school. Yes, you don't have to go to school. And therefore, the hair is like that. Okay, so we're gonna get into obviously the video builder. But before that, we'd like to play you a little video. This is something that has been shared across, and I was thinking, man, this is so apt, so perfect for this moment. Have a view.
时隔多天，再次说声，2020年，你好。你的开年着实有些意外。这样的登场，大家都有些措手不及。每个人都在用各自的方式应对你的到来，也期待你回过神时，尽快进入状态。尼采说，每个不曾起舞的日子，都是对生命的辜负。还好，那些不能起舞的日子，很快就会过去。接下来的日子里，我们可以认真的笑。认真的哭，认真的年轻，认真的重启，认真的停下来，认真的向前跑，认真的拒绝或接受，认真的对待自己、他们和生活。2020年，我们会认真的回应你，因为生命中的每一份美好都值得加倍认真。蓝天白云定会如期而至。
That is just so beautiful, right? And it was so simply executed. All you needed was some, pictures, still pictures. You got this guy who narrates really well. And of course, at the bottom, you see all the messaging that's saying, the blue skies will come really, really soon. So good job, BMW. But before we get into the meat of things, right, I was just thinking if we would do the same Slido thing. So if you've been on some of our web streams that we've done in the past few Fridays, this is something that you'll be very familiar with. You might want to just check out slido.com right now and key in this code Y196. We just want to very quickly check and see. In fact, Michelle's going to take you through the next few questions, Michelle. How do you love working from home? We're going to test and see if your feedback's working.
Yeah, how do you love working from home, Ben?
I love working from home, but I don't like working from home at the same time. I don't like the fact that my son, butts in during very serious conversations. And it's very difficult when you're already speaking to someone, right? Like your bosses and all that. And the next thing you know, you've got your son coming next to you and it says, "Hi, everybody." It just halts the whole thing. But yeah, I love working from home. The fact that I can just wake up and straight away sit on my chair. What about you?
Yeah, well, I don't quite enjoy the part where I wake up and sit on my chair, but I do enjoy the part where I save time on commutes. So, I can wake up slightly later, wear like comfortable clothes that are not seen by the camera.
There
things
you
like that.
go. Like you right now, you turned off your camera. Clever. So yeah, okay. We're looking at the stats. What do you see in the poll?
Yep, so there are about 70 respondents now, and most of them are answering 4 on the scale. So most
Wow.
people love working from home.
Nice. Very nice. Okay, let's move on to the next question.
Yep, so the next question is, how do you feel about going back to the office? How do you feel
Uh,
about going back? So presumably this after, things get back to normal. How do you
yeah.
feel when you go back to the office after being home for so long on a
Okay,
scale of 1
so
to 5?
I can't wait to go back to the office, but I know there are people who's like, oh my gosh, going back to the office, I'm so used to waking up and just sitting on my chair and I'm off to work, right? Like there's no more driving. These are one of the biggest perks. You wake up literally seconds after, you sit on your chair and you're at work. How about yourself?
I actually quite enjoy working from home. So, there are certain perks in the office where if I can only have, and I'm sure you know this well. And obviously, the team, coming together in person, there's just a different
Yes.
sort of atmosphere. And
Right.
I miss that, but I also will miss, I think, some of the elements of working from home, I think.
Well, I'm looking at the score right now. So it looks like, on a scale of 5, majority of the people are at 4. 4 about feeling going back to work. Well, second, coming in very close at number 2 is at the score of 5. So I think people are kind of excited to go back to work. Let's move on to the third question, and this is the last question before we kick off.
Yep, let's do that. Alrighty, so the next question is, how do you rate your home cooked food? This assumes that you cook, right? Or like this assumes that someone else in your household cooks, which is the case for me.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see. So who
Yeah,
in your house?
I cook Maggie lah. I mean,
Okay, cool. Very nice. But does anyone else cook in the house apart from yourself?
so I live with my boyfriend,
Yeah.
and so his parents cook most of the time. They're
Wow. So
fantastic cooks, really, like Chinese food all the way. It's great.
that's brilliant. Well, for me, because I obviously cook a lot of my food and I love cooking. Unfortunately, not all the cooking comes out great. Sometimes I get a score out of 1. I'm looking at the stats right now. Wow, people love their own home cooked food. That's amazing.
it, it,
We're
it is meant to
getting
be healthier, right? Like
Yeah,
if you're
well,
getting it
yeah,
home.
it's healthier. It's good. Wow, fantastic. Hope you're getting some of these amazing recipes that we're getting across YouTube right now. Okay, so thank you so much for participating. It looks like you guys are all geared up, ready to participate. Just a quick one, right? Ask your questions anytime. So, Michelle in the background, what she's going to do is she'll be monitoring Slido all the time. Anytime you got a question, just throw it in. Michelle's going to go through it. I won't be able to answer all the questions. We'll try our best to answer as many as possible. But what Michelle will do is pick the ones that she finds, scoring the highest with most relevance, and then she'll potentially stop me in between my presentation. So we're going to make this as interactive as possible. So there's no like a pause and then there's just questions, right? Anytime, Michelle, you find something that is relevant in Slido or have a question that you think is very important at that point, just stop me. I'm happy to answer. Okay. So once again, the code is Y196. Go into the questions section. We're going to proceed now. So let's talk about video builder for a bit, right? So, it writes right here, democratize advertising on YouTube. What does it really, really mean? Big, big words. All it says essentially is allowing you to create video ads in the most easy manner, especially for advertisers who have got some of their assets already. Some could be shot, some could be photos that you're just taking, or, like tomorrow you think of this idea, let's just do a little ad or do a little 6-second bumper, right? How do I piece all of this together? Do I have to download some fancy software? No. So the idea is to go through Video Builder, and we should be able to make that through very, very quickly for you. And especially during these uncertain times, right? We believe it's a really good communication message to speak through video. Why? Because that's obviously visual, that's obviously sound. And we're seeing that about 63% of advertisers are really adjusting their message strategy for the very first time. They're pivoting very, very quickly. And so, as a brand, you may have got this request, or even as an agency, you may have brands coming to you and say, oh my gosh, this is what's happening now. What do I do? And so these are some examples, right? Here's a brand. I think it's called Wicked Witches, which is basically Wicked Sandwiches. And it's got this promotion that happens every single Wednesday. Okay. But because of this whole COVID-19 period, so what they have done is they're communicating the change of hours and promotions, essentially saying, okay, you know what? Our Wicked Wednesday is not happening every single day, all day. And, for a message that's simple like that, you just very quickly put together some images, put some text together, and boom, they've got themselves a video. So that's one really effective and quick way of generating a video rather than, wait weeks, if not months, to get one video out. The other thing is also, services that are now offering the whole delivery, the whole touchless thing. So, here's a company that's saying now we're doing curbside delivery. And this is the company that actually is a supermarket in the US. I think they call it Market Fresh, if I'm not mistaken. I can't quite see that the text is really small. But you get the picture, right? Essentially, if you need to be able to put messaging out there very quickly, especially in a short period of time, this is what Video Builder is really, really great for that. Michelle, any questions so far?
Yep, we have one question from Bob Termizi, who is saying, your opinion about Raya festive commercial this year.
Well, my opinion about Raya festive commercials this year, I think it's really down to sensitivities, right? And if you would put out, sensitive messaging out there, and I think the core guideline is look at how you can help. If it's about helping people, go straight ahead with your messaging, right? But if you're talking about selling your product, for instance, then if I were you, I would go straight to the point, because it's all based on a need kind of basis. Nowadays, when people purchase, there's a very high chance that they're looking at it from a need basis. And as a brand, if you were to just communicate to me and say, hey, we're a brand that offers X, and that's it. That's all you need to tell me, because I will then come to you. Because you are keeping the messaging very, very simple. Because in these times, I don't think people will look into very elaborative messaging. People are looking for more messaging that is specifically speaking to them for what they need, not what they want at this point in time, right? So I will try to answer some of these questions that are related to Video Builder. Feel free to, again, ask Michelle, please monitor. So, what is Video Builder? We've been talking about it so often. And if you were in the presentation that we did a couple of weeks back during the Ramadan period, you would have seen a little demo. So I'm going to play a little video that just showcases Video Builder and how easy it is to use.
So you want to reach your customers on YouTube, but what if you don't have a video ad? Or the resources to produce different video ads regularly? Meet Video Builder, an easy, fast, and free way to turn your images and marketing messages into compelling, high-impact video ads. Each video created through Video Builder has been designed to meet a high bar for creative quality. We also make it easy for you to follow YouTube's guidelines for effective ads. Follow these steps for making a video with Video Builder. First, select the layout that works best for your goal. Next, add your brand color and logo. Now the fun begins. Use the storyboard panel to help construct your story and see how your images and text will map to different points in the video. For example, image 3 will appear here, and your call to action will appear here. When entering images, we'll recommend the right style, size, and orientation. And when entering text, we'll recommend the right amount for each field, all based on our creative guidelines and your layout's pacing and structure. Next, pick a font. Use a recommended font or find a new one using the Google Fonts catalog. When you find one you like, come back here and type in the name. Then, preview and pick a music track that helps set the tone for your video. Great job! You're ready to preview your video. Add it to your YouTube channel and give it a title. When you're happy with your video, save it and share a link with your team for feedback. If you have more to change, just click on Create a new version of this ad. Be sure to leave the browser window open. If you want to make changes, you'll need to come back here. Now you're ready to start running your campaign. Open Google Ads and make sure to follow our best practices for video campaigns. For tips, go to g.co/GoogleBP. Creating video ads just got easier. Tell your story with Video Builder.
Yep, and that's it, right? Super simple, and a lot of people go like, are you sure or not? It's really, really that simple. So let me just guide you through the process, right? Video Builder works in 3 simple steps. First, like what she said, just pick from a video layout. Now, just bear in mind that this is a beta product, which is why we haven't opened it to the public yet, and whitelisting is required. So for those of you who have already whitelisted, congratulations. We did an express whitelist, I think in the past 1 to 2 weeks, and I think a lot of clients, a lot of agencies have gotten themselves whitelisted. So thank you for that. Yeah, so the first thing when you enter is you see this layout, this video layout, and this video layout will keep populating with new, fresh themes and ideas. So keep visiting often. And then later on, you literally just customize your video assets, and then you save your video. Really as simple as that. But let me dive down, right? Before even diving down, so if you've been to some of our sessions where we talk about the creative framework from YouTube. So the creative framework from YouTube is all about ensuring your creatives are as effective as possible, ensures that it's got all the right guidelines and messaging, all that followed. So we have got it split into 4 key areas. I won't dive deep into them, just to brush a little bit over it, like attract, brand, connect, and direct. So attract is essentially how can you attract the audience, right, for the very first time. So it could be, the framing of the visuals. It could be, shouting at the start. It could be anything that basically causes an attraction. B is branding, ensuring that your brand is always there at certain times. It could be a vocal one, or it could be a visual one, right? Connecting is how can you connect to the person who's watching your video on a more personal and potentially even intimate manner, right? And finally, directing them to what you want them to do. So I think one of the key, unique selling points or the uniqueness of Video Builder is the fact that we already have all 4 of these best practices covered in every single template that you use. So you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, am I doing it right? All you need to care about are the visuals that you put in and the text, and maybe the music selection, okay? So first, like I mentioned before, pick from a video layout in the library. I will be doing a live demo later on, so don't worry if you miss some of these, right? Again, Michelle, any question, feel free to just ping me. As for, you can see for every video layout, there is a stipulated number of seconds that's there. So you can see it's a 15-seconder, there's a 16-seconder, even 6-seconders. And each of them have very strict guidelines with the number of images that you need, the number of logos that you need, and the number of text areas that you need. Okay, so text areas also, it's not based on unlimited text, obviously, because then it'll make your messaging too lengthy. When you go into the tool later on, and I'll show you that, you will realize that every text field is very limited to how much you can say in that. So it's best that when you look for your template, take the template, identify what are the fields required, and then go back to your copywriter and think of ways to sell your message in a short manner, as short as you possibly can to fit into those text areas, right? Then the second area is really customization. And this is, to me, the fun part, right? So if you notice on the right-hand side, you see this animation that's going on, they're pulling assets. They even, at one point, there was a color platter. And why is there a color platter? For certain brands that are very particular, specific with their brand colors, you upload your brand color, your logo in there, and you can essentially use the picker to pick a color from your logo, making it as as pixel accurate as possible. And so it relieves you from that effort of wanting to put in to think about what color really matches my logo and stuff like that. So that's the template that's appearing right there. Then of course you can go to selecting a font. So there's this massive font library, which I will also show you alongside with the music library. Okay, so this is, like it says, very, very important step, selecting the right images. Then of course, you save your video and launch the video campaign. Yeah, like there's nothing else to do after that. Once you have created the video, it churns out. You can see it's generating video. Sometimes it takes 2 minutes. It depends on the length of video and the complexity of the animation. And then you can just save that. It gets uploaded into your YouTube channel. And then in your YouTube channel, you can obviously use it to be repurposed for anything and everything else. So that brings me to where the video builder asset can run. Because it is just a video that gets uploaded into YouTube, it can run on any Google format, whether it's TrueView and so on. It can be used in any Google buying door, and can also be used on any device because we've got various formats, including vertical formats as well. Yeah. And so for some of you who are saying, what if I want to download this video and maybe do further cuts with it? Yes, you absolutely can. Once you go into your YouTube studio, you're able to look for the asset and click the download button. And once you download the button, the asset's literally downloaded and you can do your modifications to it. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got a question. Actually, we've got a lot of questions. So I think some of them have been answered already.
Yeah.
But the first and the top voted question is the video only allowed in YouTube? Can we go beyond it? So I think this slide basically answers that question, right, Ben?
Yeah. So obviously, we would love for you to use the video in the Google platform. But to be really honest, there's no stopping you from downloading the video. Like I said, you can download the video, do what you may with the video. But we would appreciate, obviously attribution by saying, oh, this is, created using Video Builder. Hooray, thank you.
Cool. And then there are a couple of questions, so we can all bundle them together. But basically around uploading your own content. So can we upload our own song? For example, brands have their own jingles. Can we change the color of the template? Are we allowed to upload short snippets of ready video assets? Or is this just purely static images? And can we upload our brand font?
Yeah, those are really, really great, valid questions. So number one, let's talk about brand font. So because right now it's a beta product, right? There are certain things that are limited in the Video Builder, but of course these are things that they are considering. The team is considering. We have brought this up as recommendations as a next generation feature build. However, when it comes to fonts, I would highly recommend that you look at the Google Fonts library, which I'll show you later on. It literally has thousands and thousands of fonts, and hopefully you can find a font that matches closely to the font that you have. And the other way around it is the other question that you had was songs. Can you upload songs? So what we wanted to do was to ensure Video Builder was created as a solution that was just really easy to use very quickly. That feature is coming, but for now we have an entire library. Again, I'll show you the full list of library of all the different songs that you can use copyright free. So you can have them, put in any location, obviously run them as ads as well. There was one more question. I think it was, template color. Yes, you can change the template color. That is part of the setting, which I'll show you later on.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. You want to take the other questions first? Should we go through all of this, or you want to take them at the end?
Yeah, I think we can take another set of questions when I move into my presentation, especially during the rendering side.
Cool.
Yeah. So in the meantime, please, put in your questions. Keep them coming. Thank you so much. So some great examples, right? Here's one of a company that has always been doing text ads, and they never really had experience in doing a video ad. So when they heard about Video Builder, they said, okay, let me figure out a way to do a video. And this was their first video which they did, and they were very happy. This company called Imperfect Foods. Have a look at their video. So notice how Imperfect Foods has its own color scheme. Its font is purplish, and you can see that across the entire video. So that's how Video Builder can also be used to adapt to the color of your brand, and thereby changing essentially the overall look and feel of the entire video. Okay. I'll show you the next one. So this is another company that's been great. This company is a recruitment agency from Japan. And so they traditionally have been using a lot of their TVC creatives on Google. And the moment they, when they heard about Video Builder, they wanted to just give it a try and see, how it would potentially change the performance of their campaigns. And this was number one, you can see it's quite evident. Zero creative production costs because we don't charge for this tool. The second one is they saw a surprisingly higher conversion volume than the TVC creative, and of course better CPA as well. I'm going to show you how. And these two videos were created both using Video Builder. Of course, the template is blue in color here because it follows their blue color brand. Yeah, and also something to note is during the presentation, you would also realize that the text is actually in Japanese. So yes, we do support other fonts besides our script fonts as well, which is great. And then this is another one. Yeah, and I think one of the other questions was, does Video Builder support additional videos? Not at this time, but this is something that the team is actively looking into. But if you're looking at cutting down, videos, you might want to use some of our other tools, such as Bumper Machine, where we can, essentially create 3 cuts of your longer ads and make them into 6-second cuts. Those are some that's available, but I'm sure we will be updating you as soon as video support is now added into Video Builder, which means we can add video assets as well. Okay, so let's see it in action. Before I get into the presentation, is there another question?
Yeah, so there are loads of questions, Ben. Let's take the top voted one. So
Yeah.
Alex says, I see repetitive transitions. This will make videos similar across different brands. Are you creating more templates?
Absolutely. So the answer is yes, which is why Video Builder is only a whitelist product at the moment. It's on beta. It's not open to the general public yet. So only clients of Google Malaysia who are in our NDA and those who have whitelisted have access to this tool. Yes, we have. We are aware of the number of templates and the transitions that's available. In fact, if you look at this now, this is the tool, the Video Builder tool itself. There are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there are about 12, maybe. I can't count very well. 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, 13 different transitions. And in these 13 versions, we have seen the thing grow. I think when we first kicked it off, there were only like 6 templates, and we've almost doubled that in the past few months. And as this product matures, we'll be adding a lot more. Okay. Any other questions? I'll take one more before we go into the presentation, into the live.
So to the other person who actually asked the similar question, what is the capacity of the library? I hope that what Ben just said answered your question as well. So the next top question is, can the video be unlisted or private?
Yep, you can unlist it, you can private it, completely up to you.
Yeah, and if there is a draft, once I publish the video, can I go back to tweak it? For example, change the copy or the CTA?
Yes, you can. So at the moment, Video Builder does not have a function where you can save your previously created videos. Just make sure the tab is still open. So this is something which the team is aware of and they're working on. Basically a function where you can save your previous drafts. So if you have already created one asset, right? My suggestion is to leave it at that render screen, which I'll show you later on, because only through that edit video or revise video button is where you can go back to the asset to continue another revision, if that's clear.
Yeah, I think maybe worth addressing one small little question. I think I'm seeing quite a few of these. Basically around, again, concerns around the template, right? So they're saying, if there are 13 templates and 50 brands or agencies that jump on this, does this mean one in every 4 videos will look the same?
Well, I don't think it will apply to all brands. Not all the videos here will apply to all brands, and there will be very, very different use cases. I think largely, if you look at the full video, yes, it will follow a very specific set of transitions, but it will take someone to remember all 13 transitions. That's one. Number 2, The difference in the colors will also help. The music will also help. So, we believe this product, like I said, is still on beta at the moment. However, we do see, significantly more permutations, because once you start putting together the differences in images, difference in text, difference in color and music and font, that gives, a good range before people go and say, hey, this is something that looks kind of familiar. But yes, we hear you. It's something that the team is actively working on before it goes out of beta. Cool. So I'm going to get into a little presentation right now, just to show you a live demo of how it works. So let's very quickly look at one. So here is how it all looks like, right? If you've seen my previous demonstration before, this is live. So once you mouse over, it gives you a little preview of how it looks like. Again, you can change the font, you change the color, change the images. Obviously, your logo changes as well. Yeah. So it's meant to be quite basic at the moment, but gives you, significant, or rather enough flexibility for you to customize it for yourself as a quick fix, right? Okay, so I'm gonna pick one. Let's say we're gonna show phone interaction. So this is one. So it's got 7 text areas, 3 images, 1 logo. It says it's a 16-second ad here. You can play here to preview how it looks like. Once you go into use layout, you get to see, what is your brand color. So that's the first piece, right? What is your brand color? In this case, I don't want to change it. I like this orange brand color because what I do have is, let's see, I'm gonna choose Bank of Hogwarts. Okay, so that's my bank name. Let's do a bank ad. All right, so you can see there are some images here. So, just a quick call out to, RF123 or 123RF. It's a company that does a lot of these stock images. So I have been taking a lot of these sample stock images from them just to show you in this demonstration. And if you're looking for some stock images, that's a great library for you to check out, RF123. They have got all sorts of various, orientation as well, including landscape, portrait, and so on. So I'm going to just throw in some. You can see very specifically it says, okay, it needs to be portrait. These are the sizes that you need them to be in. And then also take a look down here. This one shows you the storyboard of how everything will appear. Okay. And what's really clever is you will realize this piece here. It says shows main message before this point. So this is when people will potentially skip or not skip your ad, because this is the 6-second ad point, right? And it goes all the way to the end. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to put some images in. Yep. Just give me one moment. Okay, I'm going to add another image here. And I'm going to add an image here. Okay, so that's great. So you've got, 3 nice images. And then when it comes to the text, you can see there are obviously limitations for each text. I'm going to put in some. I'm going to do a bank ad here, maybe for instant loans. Okay, it's super easy. Call to action, get quick and easy loans today. Apply now. So you can see I've gone past the limit. So what I gotta do is end, and boom, it's done. Let's just call it, okay, we can call it Hogwarts money.com. All right, for example. So you can choose your font. So this is where the font question comes about, right? So there's a Google Fonts catalog. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to show you. And there are tons and tons of these fonts, right? Here's the list here. Actually, it says 988 fonts for you to choose from. And you can pick the ones that, is closest to your brand or something that you like. I'm not going to change the font. I'm just going to use the same font that I like. So for music, again, there's a whole list of music, and we periodically update this library with new and fresh music, and they each have a mood that's associated to it. So in this case, I want Bongo Madness. Yeah, so maybe that's something that I want, or maybe this one. No, maybe I like something a bit more like Scuba Dive. Okay, maybe we'll do Scuba Dive, right? So I'm going to create a video. That's it. It's really, really that simple. Once you've done that, at this point, it takes between 30 seconds to a minute and a half. For longer videos, obviously, it takes a minute and a half, or maybe even up to 2 minutes. The longest I've ever seen this thing generating was potentially 2 minutes, but never longer than that. So on the right-hand side, you see, your video will be saved to your channel as unlisted. So that's the first thing you don't have to worry about. It goes into unlisted mode. And obviously, unlisted videos can be used as ads as well. That's fine. You can then obviously put into different channels. You can edit the video. So this is where I was talking about. Once you have already created video, please don't close this. So this is something which the team is working on. This edit video button is the only way for you to revert to your edits previously, to what you have done previously. So if you like to customize the video further, do another version of it, that's where you go. So, and if you were to just say save video, that's when it gets saved directly into the YouTube channel. Okay, so I'm going to hit play. Yeah, simple as that. So all these transitions are already built in, so you don't have to worry about animating all of that. So the other thing that I would also like to bring up is, when you do these animations, you notice here. Now, you don't necessarily need to put an image of a person. It can actually be, say, a screenshot of your mobile website. It could be that, or it could be an app, right? To showcase how you can get that 1 hour instant approval, steps on how you can apply online, for example. So that's one example. Any questions so far, Michelle?
Yep. Should we take some questions around? Sorry, you might hear thunder. That's thunder. It's raining really
I'm
hard.
getting it here too.
So should we take some questions around like formatting and stuff? So like the process of creating this, right? I'm seeing some questions around what's the maximum length of videos that can be produced by Video Builder?
Oh, it's a great question. So you can see here the longest we've seen is 16 seconds. But I won't be surprised if the team starts coming up with like 20 seconds and beyond. But for now, it's limited to 16 seconds. We have varieties, including 6-second ads here. So I'm going to show you. Let's just try. Okay, please don't judge me on that. I'm not like a creative super maestro or whatever. This is just something, and I'm not even a copywriter. But I will try to do a little brand ad, and let's see if it works. Okay. A brand ad, let me see. I'm gonna pick, okay, let's just pick this one. So this one says increase consideration, but I kind of like the format of how it goes, so we just choose that first. Okay, so the primary colors, I'm gonna choose an image. Just give me one moment. Just drop it in, hold on. Okay, so I created a fictitious company called the Care Company. And the Care Company likes green. So you see the primary color here. If you look at a template, it's orange, right? So what I'm doing is I'm changing this. You can't see the color picker on your screen, but it's showing right now to me. So I'm just gonna hover over my font, and you see the color has just changed. Now it's the Care Company like that. And everything should then follow through. I think it looks pretty good. Okay, so now for images, again, they will recommend what kind of images, like product image, lifestyle image, and so on. And I'm just going to put in some of these images. I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3. I mean, these are not hard and fast rules. It's just recommendations by the team, especially when you're running out of time. But, I obviously had a bit more time for this just to make sure that I do a good demo for you guys. Quick shout outs to 123RF again for these amazing images. So text. Okay, so let's just get into the text. Main message. Let's say, let's do like a really nice, supportive kind of a ad from a brand. So dear Malaysia, it's been a rough, say 2020. We know the journey hasn't been kind. It's been painful. Empty. And yeah, but we are in this. Maybe not all caps because that sounds like I'm screaming. So, you can put some call. So you can actually reference down what is 1A. As you scroll down, you can see the messaging. So 1A is here and 1B is down here. So I go 1A. 1A is, stay strong, Malaysia. And then maybe we'll put an exclamation mark. Maybe we put on a hashtag. Could also be your brand website. Okay. And again, I won't change that. So this one says, let's listen to some music. Now I want something a little bit more, how do I say, it's more like supportive, if that's the word. Let's see if I can find something. Very quickly, we're gonna go for, is there something called, there you go, not this one. Okay, we're gonna use that. So just double check everything's done. Good. I'm gonna hit play, create video. So again, this part takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes. This is a much longer video, so it takes roughly 1.5 minutes. So Michelle, any other questions before I move on?
Yes, there are. Should we take so one question and maybe one more as well? Is this only available on the desktop environment? So will there be apps? And also, like, if you could explain, like, what's the extra advantages of the video builder over other apps, that'd be great.
Yeah, dream come true, man. I would love for this to be an app. I would put that into the product recommendations and see what they say. But I don't. There is no app that's available at the moment. So this is purely on web. Also, it makes it easier because things like color picker and all that. It's easier to just click and choose. Although I'm sure some of you are so used like super maestros on your phones that you go, oh come on, I can do all of this on my phone. As for comparison with other apps that's available, right? Yeah, I mean this product isn't designed to compete with some of the other solutions out there like Biteable and so on and so forth. It's really meant a supplementary asset, right? A supplementary creation tool where you can very quickly create videos on the fly. And if you need, especially at this time when, you need things quick, you need things fast, you need to pivot very quickly. I would use this as a tool to potentially slap something together very quickly and have something that is usable in a relatively short period of time, right? So yeah, I mean, tools like Biteable, Biteable, go check it out as well. That's a really, really good service. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they have an app as well. That is a charged service. And I don't think they follow the ABCD guidelines. So for Video Builder, we do follow ABCD guidelines because, like I said from the beginning, all our templates go through those ABCD guidelines, which are the creative guidelines. And on top of that, we don't charge for this tool. So this is, again, absolutely free. And I believe this will remain so for a long period of time. Okay, so let's have a look at the video. Yeah, so there you go. Just a little something. You can really play with the different templates and see how you can generate videos that are applicable to your goals. Okay, and one last one before we go. We're towards the end of the session already. I'm just going to show you how to create a really quick bumper. And I thought of this idea. Why don't we just do a fun bumper, right? On how to do a quick recipe in 6 seconds. And this is how I'm going to do it. So it takes one logo, 3 images, 3 text areas. You use the layout. Okay, so I'm going to choose. Okay, wait, first let me just put an image. I'm going to call my company. This is called the Fizzing Company. Fizz. Okay, it's a picture of my owl who likes drinking. And maybe I like the color orange. So I'm gonna have like really bright orange, super bright orange. And then I'm gonna have dark orange. That doesn't look very orangey. Yeah, I think you get the idea. Okay, please, if this doesn't look too great, we're doing this on the fly. Most people will have a bit more time to do this, but okay, I'm just gonna close this. Here you go. So, let's just say my primary color is this, and I like my text to be in this color. Okay, so again, 3 assets. So I'm just gonna throw in some of my assets. Okay, so here you go. Okay, great. So I've got 3 beautiful images. My text, let's see what I'm going to say. It's a 6-second recipe. So I want a sparkling juice. Do it in a jiffy. All right. Sound very Australian. Just mix juice plus soda water. And ta-da! Make it fizzy today. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of exclamation mark. Just gonna put a dot there. Okay, I think that's perfect. Okay, let's see music. No, I don't like that one. Let's go into something a little bit more crazy. Upstairs cat. No, I like something a bit more happy. I like almost August, sorry. Okay, let's try this. I'm going to create a video. And so this is a 6-second ad, right, on creating instant recipes. It's not much of a recipe. Actually, there's a backstory to this. So sometimes you hear, oh, there you go. Oh, it's done already. That was super cute. Okay, so here's the video. Let's do this. I'm going to maximize the screen. Boom, that's it, 6 seconds, right? I mean, we cannot say too much in 6 seconds, but you gotta keep it snappy. And this is something which is also a little bit functional. So you're branding on the right, with some messages or images. Just some tips, right? So while you're doing these videos, think about how you can also utilize some of these areas like you see here. This is an entire image, right? But you can also, like what you saw, I think it was called the Witches Company, the sandwich company, which I showed earlier in the presentation. They essentially took this frame and they replaced it with some graphics mixed with a bit of text and maybe even a promotion. So you can, if you can use tools like Adobe Photoshop or whatever, create an image and then put something together like a montage or whatever and just place it there. So that becomes like additional text that you may want to show to your customers, right? So you don't have to stick with just a plain image. An image can be a bit more sexy. You can have a lot more stuff to it, okay? So I'm going to take some questions now before we go into the next part.
Yeah, and just as I turn on my mic, like the thunder decides to tell me that
Yeah,
I
it's like,
am
what's
live.
up?
Okay, top voted question currently. Can we export the animation to fit into Google Display banner?
Export the animation. That's a very good question. So, okay, I'm not an expert with Google Display, but I would suggest that you check with your Google representatives and find out from them. However, if GIFs are something that can be done, can be used in display, what I would suggest is you could also take some of these videos that you've created, right? You again use that download function, put it into a video processing software and just generate GIFs out of it, and potentially run them as an asset. So that's another one. I think I love that idea. That's very brilliant, though. Nice.
All right, next question. When we download the asset, will it be a working file? What's the format?
Oh, it's MP4, so it's fully rendered. It's not a working file of sorts. It's because it's the machine that's just doing all the patching together, right? They run a script behind the scenes, but yeah, there's no working file. In case you're wondering, will it churn out an Adobe After Effects or Adobe Premiere Pro kind of video file? No, it doesn't.
Cool. Okay. Next question. May I know how long it takes for the video to be live after we've created? Basically, how long is the under review process for Video Builder?
So it goes through the same process for review as per any ad. So I mean, that one really goes down to video policy. But as far as having the video, generated here, and when you hit the save button, it's literally uploaded into YouTube instantaneously. And I would say, within less than 5 minutes, you can already see that video and you can plonk it into your Google Ads campaign and kick it off, or even DV360.
Cool. Okay, one question that I'm seeing quite a fair bit around formats still, right? So what about vertical formats for mobile screens? And also,
Yep.
will we see one-to-one square templates in the future?
The square templates will be interesting. I can feed that in, but so far, yes, we have vertical screen formats, as you've seen. I think there were several in there. There were several vertical screen formats, so please play with them. And those are great questions. Yeah.
All right, should we take more? Do you
Okay,
wanna-
so I think I'll just skip into the 4 things to remember, and then we'll take maybe the last set of questions before we wrap up the session. Okay. So 4 key things to remember. Number 1. This is when I press the button on the wrong side of the screen. Number 1. Here we go. Keep your messaging short and sweet, right? Like I said earlier on, when you look at some of these templates that's made available for you, just make sure you know number of characters that's there. Google Docs has it. You once you key in your text, you should be able to automatically count for you. In fact, I have got a really nice guidebook that will be given to you absolutely free. Just get ready to take your handphones and screenshot the QR code, or just get that QR code so that you can access later on and download the file. Second, avoid mentions of sensitive keywords. So when I say sensitive keywords, this is again back to ads policy, right? So try to avoid obviously saying things like COVID and stuff like that. So those are videos that cannot be turned into ads. We have got very, very stringent policies against usage of sensitive keywords, whether it's in text or is it mentioned in the video, or even if it's in the title. So try to avoid sensitive keywords at all times. Third one, avoid button overlay. So, like just now when I was telling you, you can have certain images, right, where you use maybe Photoshop or any other graphic editing tool, and you put together like a little like poster or whatever, and then you want to put that poster into the video. That's fine. Just make sure you avoid button overlays, because the moment you put in button overlays, our systems will detect, and then you will get sorry, this ad's been rejected. So please avoid button overlays. Okay. Finally, use suitable images, right? Go to places. Make sure you got high-res images, because obviously now your ads don't just appear on your phone. They appear on your screens, on your desktops, your laptops. It also appears on TV, and we all know that, I don't know about you, but if you've tried the YouTube app on TV, it's brilliant. I love the experience there. So yes, make sure that you've got high res, and as much as possible, follow the instructions that's given there in the guidelines. And the other one is also when you think of your logo, I know a lot of you might be going, oh my gosh, I can't wait since I've got access now. I just want to try and do the video. You can, but please make sure you use logos with transparency. So, your media agency, whoever it may be, your creative agency will be able to give you some of these assets if you want to play with it. Just make sure it's transparent, not like a little white box like that. A transparency would look like this. So you can see my little owl, it doesn't have a white background. It looks really nice, cuts right through. Another tip is to explore some of your pre-shot assets. Many of you would have done a lot of video shoots, photo shoots that is in your library. Please revisit them, right? Go into stock photo libraries as well if you don't have some of those videos. 123RF is great. iStock Photos is great. And of course, like what I mentioned, feel free to combine elements, but just don't clutter them. And the most important of all these, actually not 4 things, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 things already. I cannot count. The 5th thing to remember is this. Have fun while you're playing with Video Builder. I'm sure the team had lots of fun building this, looking at all these templates. And we hope you have fun utilizing the software. So here's what you need to do very quickly. If you're on your laptop, on your computer, check if you're whitelisted. You can very quickly turn on your phone or just key in this address, directed.youtube.com/videobuilder. If you go into this link and you see the interface that's on your left, that means you have already been whitelisted. Just make sure you're logged in to the Gmail account that you have submitted for whitelisting, because otherwise it won't show. It won't show on your other Gmail accounts, okay? If you're not whitelisted, I know we've already done some batches of whitelisting. Just speak to your Google representative. We'll try our best to whitelist you as soon as possible, okay? And finally, this is the one last thing. Getting started workbook. This is a great workbook. I suggest you get it right now, like right now. Go snap this QR code. It essentially is a workbook that showcases all the things that I have shared with you today and more. It's got some best practices guidelines. It's got some active links in there to go into certain pages. So please download this and use it as your resource. It's like a little workbook where you can even start planning your campaigns around it, because it shows you a number of characters and stuff like that. Okay. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We could probably, I don't know, Michelle, how many more questions should we answer? Maybe 1 or 2 more?
Yeah, we could take the top 2 here. So one question is, this is built primarily with pictures. I think you may have answered this earlier, but what about using existing videos to repurpose it? So shorter duration, edit the cuts, edit the CTA.
Yeah, I would love for video. I think video is one of the highest requests. Like I personally, have put in a request to the team to have video added into Video Builder. But right now, the assets that it is in its beta stage is purely text. And of course, your photos. Make sure your photos are copyright free, or rather it's copyrighted only to you. Don't, take a photo from the internet and just plonk it there. And yeah, so we hope to get that feature out. And once it does, we will be more than, we'll definitely send out emails and update you.
Cool. And to that note about photos and videos, is there any Google general photo or video library which can be used? And also, like, another aside is, are we considering having stock photos added so we can have immediate search and use?
Actually, that's a good feature request. It's a great feature request. I would definitely put it through. But I think the core function of Video Builder is really not to monetize, right? We're not there to charge anybody to access Video Builder. The aim of Video Builder, like I said, is to democratize the YouTube ability for people to create videos, ads very, very quickly using existing assets that they have built or they have had in the past. So yeah, because once you start incorporating third-party services, third parties may then start charging you a fee, and there's a lot more complexity beyond that. But let's see how it goes, because I think this is with us now whitelisting a lot of clients in Malaysia. I think it gives us a lot of data and feedback, and please come back with your feedback. Let us know what you feel about the tool. Just bear in mind it is a beta tool, right? So there will be kinks. And the team has been working very, very hard to make this available in a beta stage so that people can use it. And once it goes out of beta mode, who knows, right? It might be able to put in those video requests that you said, or even access other libraries. As for free Google video libraries, unfortunately, we don't have that at the moment. But there is a free music library, not necessarily related to Video Builder, but if you are an agency and are looking for a music library to be put into your videos, and these videos can be run as assets on YouTube, we have got the YouTube music library. Search for that. Let me just very quickly show it to you. I don't know if you've seen it before, but this is a great library, absolutely free, royalty free. Hang on a minute. Let me just go there. I think, yeah, I think this is, yeah, that's the one. So this is the YouTube music library. So it's just youtube.com/audio library. And you can see there are tons, like literally tons of free music, and they're all new, right? You can look for sound effects and change by mood, and the list just keeps going. It's a lot. It's a lot of new stuff that's being added. So you can imagine, right, the future of what this is going to be. You can download it and upload it into your video content, and you don't have to worry about copyright flags or anything like that. So this is a big tip for anyone out there who's creating assets. This is out of Video Builder, but to complement some of your creative works as you're creating ads or videos for YouTube. Okay, and I think that pretty much wraps our session. We are ending on time. I just want to thank Michelle. Thank you so much for really leaning in on this. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, thank you, everybody. And again, without Michelle, this wouldn't be possible because I'll just be going all over the place and nobody to help me moderate the questions. So thank you. Stay safe, stay at home with us. Wash your hands, eat well, sleep well, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.